What's up, y'all? I'd like to welcome y'all back to the Tech Fiends YouTube channel. And what I'm going to do now is give you guys a review of the Galaxy S3 compared to, well, a slight comparison to the GS2. The first thing I'm going to do is show you guys the boot up comparison between the S3 and the S2 Epic 4G Touch, the Exynos version in the United States. It is a CDMA phone. This GS3 is a GSM phone running on the Straight Talk. Let's see if I can get a shot of that. Straight Talk GSM network in the United States, which is like a subcontractor for AT&T. Basically, you get a $45 a month plan, and you have to pay like 15 bucks for a SIM card. And once you get the SIM card, you program the APN settings and you're good to go. Basically, the 3G speeds are much better than 3G CDMA speeds, and many times 4G speeds in the US, especially in my area. I can only get about 1.2 megabits a second on a Sprint WiMAX, and I can get about 9 megabits a second on the HSPA Plus for Straight Talk. So without further ado, let's get this boot up comparison underway. Basically, I'm going to boot both of the phones and try and launch the application GPS test so you can see the GPS comparison between the S2 and the GS3. So here we go. Okay, they're off. The S2 is rooted, but it is not running a custom ROM. It only has a different splash screen to get rid of that stupid Sprint 4G mess. And by right, it probably would have taken longer for this phone to start up had it had the 4G advertisement from Sprint. So here we go. Let's see if we can get into the applications. It takes a while for the applications to load on this phone. Don't know why. Maybe it's because I have so many, but I have many of the same applications on this phone, and the quad-core Exynos processor just boots up almost instantaneously. So here we go on the dual-core S2 variant. GPS test, and we're going to see how long it takes both of these phones to get a GPS lock. Actually, this one started up first and it needs the help, and this one has practically already gotten a lock. You can see how much quicker this one is at getting a lock compared to the S2. The CDMA S2 was just pathetic in regards to GPS. So I'll give this one another second and see if it decides to lock. And no, so we'll get this out of here and go over to the S3. First off, I like to say that the longer I have the S3, the more that I like the way it looks. I love the way that the white on white makes the buttons disappear down here. It makes it look nice and clean, like the only thing down here would be the home button. And I don't think that the case I have on this phone does it justice, so I have ordered a I think it's called Trieda case. They haven't been released yet. They'll be shipping on the 14th of this month, and I think that that case is a better fit for a phone like this. The size of this phone is pretty good. I mean, in comparison to the Note, it's not nearly as big, but it's also not as heavy. The the heaviest thing in this phone is the battery. The battery adds a good bit of weight. The battery is a 2100 milliamp hour battery, and I'll show you guys some screenshots of the actual battery benchmarks. Well, not actually benchmarks, but I did take some benchmark snapshots because just due to time constraints, I don't want to have to sit here and let the phone run through each one of the benchmarks. So here is a screenshot of battery life from yesterday, 22 hours 7 minutes. Here is ACID 3 test. It scored a 100 in the regular internet browser. This isn't Chrome. Here's one thing I wanted to explain to you guys about the 50 gigabytes of Dropbox that you get from Samsung. Is so freaking difficult to obtain. You have to one, take the tour of Dropbox. 2, you have to install Dropbox on a computer. 3, you have to put files in Dropbox. 4, you have to install Dropbox on another computer that you use. 5, you need to share a folder with a friend or colleague, and that friend or colleague has to view the folder that you shared with them. 6, you have to invite some friends to join Dropbox. 7, you have to install Dropbox on your mobile device, which was already met. A couple of these were already met, but after you complete 5 of these tasks, then you can get the other 48 gigabytes of Dropbox storage that you're supposed to get free with the phone. You initially only start off with 2, and that's a little you know, it was a little sneaky the way that was done. It was like I was under the impression as soon as I bought the phone that I would get the 50 gigabytes. Considering how expensive the phone is, you figure that that would be included right off the bat. Okay, the next thing I like to show you guys is what I thought was pretty tight is the ticker. The ticker displays like updates from your favorite news feeds down here on the bottom of the screen, on the lock screen. Another thing Samsung did that I like is they made it to where you can have like this lock screen before you get to your security lock. Like on this one, after you engaged the actual lock screen, if this one will come back on, after you engage the lock screen, this would disappear. I always wanted to be able to swipe this away and then enter my pattern lock on the GS2, but that wasn't available. I noticed that on this phone they made that available. So after you enable your security, you will not lose the little water type lock screen. The next thing I like to show you guys is the voice controls. Now you have to hold the phone a fairly close distance to your mouth when you speak the command for the phone to recognize it, or else you'll get this failed to recognize command right here where it says, there it is again, failed to recognize command, because it's trying to interpret what I'm saying and I'm not giving it the command. So let's give it a go. Check missed calls. Okay, I failed. Let's try it again. Check missed calls. And there we go. So yeah, you have to remember to hold the phone fairly close to your mouth when you speak the command, and it'll work fairly reasonable. The next thing is Smart Stay. Smart Stay is the little feature where the camera watches your eyes in order to keep the screen on. The feature works, but I find that you have to have light in front of you for the feature to work, for the camera to be able to see your eyes, because if the light is behind you, then I assume that shadows are cast over your eyes and the camera has a hard time picking it up. So it works, it just doesn't work, I guess, as well as some of us would like. Okay, there's also, which I think the APK Elite flip board is on the GS3 now, so just give you guys a little peek at that. The from what I can understand, I mean, the application does what it's supposed to in comparison to I guess Google Currents. It looks a little more magazine-ish, so to speak, but it gets the job done. Let's see what else. Okay, there's a lot of the features, and I'll boot this up so you can see a lot of the features that are available on the Note are also available on the GS3. Like, there's a similar calendar now. Let's see, there's also things like S Memo, I think it's called, where you can actually write on the screen and use your screenshots to where is it? S Voice, S Planner, S Memo. You can use your screenshots and you can write on the screen as if you were using the Note. This phone doesn't have a stylus like the Note does, but I would assume that the stylus from the Note would work on the screen. So let's give that a shot right here on camera. Maybe not. Okay. No, the stylus from the Note does not, or the S Pen does not work on the GS3, but your thumb works well. So let's cancel that out and let's move on to the way the phone feels. Like, I hold a lot of people complain about the design, how it's rounded, but I notice, like, as I hold my phone, I hold it like this, and being that it doesn't have the squared off corners, I notice that it doesn't dig off into my palm like so. So if you end up holding your phone for, I guess, extended periods of time, it does not, you know, I guess, cause maybe like carpal tunnel like symptoms, and it doesn't hurt as much when you're like going the distance using your phone. Also, I noticed that when I brace my phone like this for long periods of time, it also doesn't hurt, you know, my pinky finger too much. Like, you hold a Note like that for a long time and you'll feel it. You know, it starts to feel like you're holding weight. And a lot of people complain about the plastic, but I imagine if Samsung made their phones out of metal or some other metal type material, then you'd be feeling that a lot sooner rather than later. But so far so good. This phone feels fairly comfortable in the hand to hold, so no complaints out of me. And then on the other hand, when I get I love like these little I guess TPU cases. I really like the ones with the S on it, but like I said, I don't think this case does this phone any justice. So I ordered the other one, but as you can tell, I really like the S case. Had I known I was getting the white, I was forced to get the white version. I would have gotten the clear case. I think that would have been a little bit better, but the black on white really just doesn't it just doesn't sit well with me. So it's only a temporary thing, but like I said, when I have this case on, I don't even feel the build quality. The build quality and the looks practically go out the window once that is on. Another thing I like to show you guys is how to take screenshots. The screenshots are similar to the note. You basically have to actually place your palm or the side of your hand on the phone and swipe from left to right, like you'd be moving the screen from left to right, or you can go from right to left. It's your choice, really. You just do this. Well, I accidentally hit an app first, but basically you just do that, and that's how you take your screenshots. Another thing that Samsung has added to TouchWiz is the ability to pop out videos. So what this means is if you're watching a video, you can pop it out and continue doing what you're doing without having to stop the video. And when I say this is a welcome feature, it most definitely is, because in the past I've had to download applications in order to do this. For instance, on the Galaxy Note there is an application called Stick It that will also allow you to do something similar. Like here I have a video playing that has something to do with jellyfish. Now the difference between this one and the actual Samsung one is you can actually resize it, but resizing it causes the video to sometimes stutter, sometimes become choppy, and it will destroy your battery. But if you want to kind of like hold off on the GS3 and you have either the GS2 or the Note and you want this feature, the application Stick It will do the job. And I think you can maximize it by hitting no, but you can minimize it by hitting it down. The maximize button only slightly maximizes it, so if you want to go back to it, you just swipe down and play that. So in case you didn't know about the application Stick It, there you go, and that way you can continue working. But there's also another application called let's see if I can get it to, no, it won't pop up. It's called Overscreen, the Overscreen browser, and it will allow you to, let's see if I can get you a demonstration queued up. Okay, when you are using the Overscreen browser, I use it in text messages a lot. When I get a text message and one of my buddies shoots me a video that he wants me to check out, I'd just click on the link and then I'd hit Overscreen. I could also stick it, but I use the Overscreen browser, and that way I can look at the entire page that the video is on, and I can also play it. Then if I want to go back home, I can go back to my home screen, I can resize the video, and I can, you know, get back to what I was doing. If I want to check out another link, I can type in the URL. But before I go into too much detail about that application is called Overscreen browser. It's from the same guys who created Stick It. But I like that Samsung has taken notice that people actually want to open more than one window on their Android phones, and hopefully this will become a feature that is also included in Android in the future. But I think that's about it for all of the features of the Galaxy S3 that I wanted to go over. I guess, I also have some more screenshots of benchmarks that I don't think that I was able to show you initially, and those are right here. Here is the I guess quadrant. It scored a 53.23 on quadrant. and 2.2 it scored a 12060, so 12,060. It's higher than the Transformer Prime, which was the king. Some more battery stats. At this time, 12:26 a.m. this morning, I had been running on battery for 15 hours and 43 minutes. I think the highest battery percentage was at 6:51 a.m. The phone was running on battery for 22 hours, 7 minutes, and 21 seconds, which I thought was pretty good. The only other phone that I know that can hit those type of numbers on battery is the Galaxy Note. Okay, and I guess before I go, I'll give you guys a tour of the hardware, which I'm sure you've probably seen a million times by now. There's the home button. On the right side, there's nothing but the power button. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to note. The power button it feels like to me that it's been raised a little bit, to where when you hit the power button, you're not accidentally hitting the volume button. It's raised just a little bit, like the power button's here, the power button's here, and the volume button is here, and it's raised a little bit. So now when you're hitting the power button, you won't be hitting the volume up button at the same time. On the top, you only have the microphone, the little hatch to open it, the headphone jack. On the left side, you have the volume rocker. Underneath, you have the power cable. And last but not least, I want to address the camera. The camera in still pictures is amazing. It takes pictures fairly quick. The pictures look awesome. The only thing that I did find is in video, for some reason the camera keeps trying to autofocus when it's recording, and it doesn't do it much, just ever so slightly, and for some reason it's not doing it right now. There it is. Well, sometimes it does that, where it'll keep trying to autofocus. It'll zoom in, zoom out just slightly. I mean, it's not unbearable, but it is a noticeable problem. But between that and there's another problem I wanted to note that I noticed, like the animation that switches to the home screen. It just seems it doesn't seem choppy. Maybe it just does it so fast. I think they could have did a little bit better on the actual animation, but I just noticed it last night that it feels like maybe it just, like I said, maybe it just does it so fast that it just gets there so quick and I'm not ready for it. But it looks a little blocky. I think it could have been a little bit smoother than what it is. Another thing I noticed that I didn't like was the people hub, but you know, that's, I guess, subjective to the individual. It's based on preference, but otherwise that's about it for the GS3. I mean it's a hell of a phone. I mean it's got to be the king. I can't see anything that is close to it except maybe the 1X or the Evo LTE, but like I said, I just cannot deal with Sprint's poor 3G speeds, especially in my area. I can't do it anymore. For a long time stuck by Sprint. I mean, they had decent speeds at one time, but now they've just went all to hell and they've never fixed it. But yeah, I'd like to do some application launches to compare how quickly the 3 opens up compared to the Note. So let's start with calculator. Let's go to app drawer, was pretty even. Camera, looks like the S3 is slightly the winner. I already have Chrome open up on both, so it wouldn't be fair. Let's go with barcode scanner. Okay, that would have been the S3. I'd also like to show you that Samsung added this feature to where whenever you're in an app, you can shake to update it. Every time you shake it, it'll update. And finally, for all those guys out there who like to quick draw with the camera, I think this is the best way that I've seen to get to the camera so far. You just hold the screen, turn the phone on its side, and you go straight to camera. So again, that's when you're on your lock screen, touch the screen, turn right into the camera. Alright, that's about it for the Galaxy S3. I could probably find some other things to talk about, but for time's sake, I'm gonna go ahead on and end this video. Thank you guys for watching. One thing I forgot to mention was the keyboard has really been stepped up in the S3. I can't show you because I'm actually holding the camera with my left hand, but this thing is very difficult to mistype on. I know on the S2 and on the Infuse and the Note, even when the Note got ice cream sandwich, I tend to make a lot of mistakes and a lot of misspelled words. I'd actually hit the space bar a lot, or hit B instead of the space bar a lot. But the keyboard has really been stepped up. It's just a normal keyboard, but the keyboard it's amazing. It's very hard to mistype on.